What's going on with it? All right, let's look at these. What's going on in college basketball? Um, Crazy year. One of the best years probably in college basketball history. I haven't been doing it. Uh, just do with my coverage on it, but we gonna have to get into it. Okay. So we got Michigan here, the number one team. They've been consistent. Um, they're in the Big Ten. Let me see if I could. I don't know if the Big Ten is as good as it was last year. Big Ten was historically really good last year, but can't be mad at it. Who was their one loss? Or their one loss was to Miss Wisconsin. Uh, Purdue's tough, and they got Duke this weekend, so maybe I might have to cover that game. Time is it? 6:30. I mean, that seems doable. It seems doable. Yeah, I like this team. It's a solid team. Lindenborg probably gonna be a first round pick. Um, Mara, I feel like he was maybe there last year. McKinney, good freshman. Burnett's been in college basketball for a really long time. I think he's in his sixth season. Like he's been in college basketball for a long time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, fifth season. Because you know how these guys got that COVID year. So he's been in college basketball for a while. Elliot Cadu, really highly ranked player coming out of high school. One thing you want to notice what Elliot could do was the shooting was a problem for him early on. Elliott could do, early in his career. He played at North Carolina, very highly recruited, All American player. Him and uh, my man at Auburn, Todd Pettiford at Auburn, good buddies. Two smaller guards. So, but Tahad is more of a shooter than could do, but Kadu's more of the playmaker of the two, right? But Kadu showed some improvements, right? 7 points to 9 points, 33% from 18%. Now he's up to 40%, right? Next step, you gotta get that free throw percentage a little bit higher. It's a little bit unique in the way he's shooting the ball because usually guys will, if their free throw percentages are low, they don't project to be good 3-point shooters. But his 3-point shooting is good and it's like ahead of his free throws, which is generally not the case, but not terrible. Lindenborg, he's an interesting player, New Jersey dude. Interesting that he's a senior, but he's still highly regarded as an NBA player. I feel like people like his versatility, his strong kind of athleticism. Um, Houston is Houston's an interesting team as well. They definitely got a shot at the national chip. Played in the national championship game last year. Um, Chris Sinak, Isaiah Harwell. Oh man, good freshman right there. There's Isaiah Harwell. You got Mercy Miller, son of Master P. That's not him, but Mercy Miller shown. Oh gosh, well, it's not really getting to Mercy, but son of Master P shown some improvement. Was a good player at Sherman Oaks. If he could wait his turn, by the time he's a senior, he could be a pretty good player here. Sharp, vet, Uzan, a vet. Uzan's probably got a shot at the league. Kingston Fleming's here. This guy, 6'4", athletic, strong guard, big guard, shoots it well, does everything well. He's a top 5 pick. NBA scouts love this kid. Probably a little bit underrated coming out of high school. Probably not properly rated. Maybe it might depend on the turn of the circuit that he came out of. I don't know if that's necessarily the case, but I don't know why he was slightly under recruited or underrated out of high school. But kid's a dog. We got Duke's doing what they do. So we got Cameron Boozer, who is probably going to be the player of the year in college basketball this year. Look at him. He's 22, almost 23 points a game, 10, shooting 39% from 3, 58% from the field. Just keeps it simple, keeps it light. They banged on Syracuse. I'll highlight Syracuse because Kiyan Anthony's there. 3.9 assists. Really good passer. Probably the best playmaker out of the top potential 3 picks, though, which is kind of saying a lot. But he is. Really good shooter, too. Hopefully Kiyan played in this game. I'm confident he had to have played. Because it was a bit of a controversy because he didn't play in the other game. There you go. Syracuse, I don't know. I don't think they're not a tournament team unless they, win the conference. But Freeman and Starling. Starling's probably, I don't know, probably the best player. Tyler Betsy, good player. Seen him live. Isaiah Evans, also another good player. Kamenya, also another good player. Not sure if he's going to stay there, but I do think he's an NBA player potentially at some point. Caden Boozer, 6'4". I do think he's an NBA player at some point. May have to wait his turn, may have to wait another year, but I do think he's an NBA player. Ngamba, I do think he's probably going to be a first-round pick. Isaiah Evans, going to be a first-round pick. He's a bucket. Probably needs to work on like the playmaking a little bit more though, just to be a more complete guard. I mean, if you're not going to be a playmaker at all, you probably have to shoot the lights out. Like shoot the absolute lights out. Here we got Zona, Arizona, who's been near the top for a while. I like this Arizona team. I definitely think they got a shot at taking the whole thing. Braden Burries played with Bryce James. Bryce James is actually on this team too. Just hasn't played. He's redshirting this year. But Braden Burries played with him in AAU. And Braden Burries, he could hoop. He started off slowly this year, but he's really picked it up. California kid, good player. I think Cole Pete is also should be a first rounder. Has been consistent all year. Not really a shooter like that. and it's kind of gotten hurt, but bro can hoop. And I like this just Arizona team. I like this team overall. I do not sleep on UConn at all. I do not sleep on UConn at all. Not really like the most high profile players other than Mullins, who I think is a first round player, a first round pick. I do like Iowa State. They got vets, and vets matter. Momoshilovich, Jefferson, Lispy, like those dudes, Heiss, those guys have been there for a while. And look at the shooting for Momoshilovich, 51%. Pretty sick. I don't know how many attempts per game he's throwing up, but Mr. Go, what up? Yeah, I mean, oh man, who was there? Yeah, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. Like I think if they were like, I almost probably think like that they should maybe hold out for next year. You know what I mean? Because if this draft class is really good, maybe get a good draft pick. Hopefully Jimmy Butler comes back, and then you keep Steph Curry, and then you can make one more run because I believe they have Porzingis now. So if they could keep all those three healthy with Draymond, I think maybe next year. But yeah, Boston's pretty good. Like I didn't expect them to be this good, but credit to Joe Mazzulla and credit to Jaylen Brown, who's probably should be the MVP if I'm being honest. Purdue, a lot of people, Braden Smith, a lot of people thought they had a chance at it. I don't think they're out of it. If you have a veteran guard and a guard who can make plays for people, I think Braden Smith's got to get NBA consideration. I just think he's very solid. And in the era that we live in, like maybe in the past, he might have got overlooked because he doesn't wow you. But I think with those shooting numbers and that playmaking, I think he should get a shot. He's small though. Shout out the Lawyer as well. The Lawyer brothers. Let's look at some of these mid-major games for today. I was watching Memphis, South Florida. I think South Florida got this one though, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they beat Memphis pretty bad. Memphis is kind of struggling this year. What else? FIU versus Liberty. Yeah, Liberty has a shot at doing some damage in the tournament. Not too sure about this one. I gotta check more into the Big South, and NJIT is looking pretty good. I mean, Vermont doesn't really lose the America East very much, so we'll see. Okay. Kansas has been pretty good. Like this team offensively is not as stacked. I think for Flory Badunga as a defender is really good. Him and Chinyelu at Florida, probably two of the better defenders in college basketball. And you obviously got Darren Peterson, who probably should go number one in this draft. So at Illinois, I like this Illinois team. We got Wagler, who's had some crazy games this year. We've got Boswell, who's been a little bit up and down. Ivisic, him and his brother. But Ivisic came back last year after being a potential NBA pick. We got Boswell, who I feel like he's made a lot of improvements over his time in college basketball. Hard to believe that Boswell's a senior now. You know, he was super young when he came to Arizona as a freshman. I remember him, and now he's a senior. Time flies. Stojakovic, the son of Peja Stojakovic, played at Cal, started out at Stanford. Now he's at Illinois. I don't know if he'll stay after this year at Illinois, but highly ranked player coming out of high school. So shout out to Stojakovic family. That was an excellent NBA player. We got the Florida Gators, the Gator Boys chomp. Condon, I feel like, is a vet. Chinyelu Hall is their best player. I don't really got too much to say about him. Not super familiar with Ha. But this team is super balanced, though. I'll definitely say that. Like this starting five is very balanced. Boogie Flag out of New York, highly ranked guard out of New York. This whole roster is pretty. They got a shot. They got a shot to win it all again. To be honest, now that I'm looking at this, Chinyelu, really good story, African player who just turned himself into an NBA player, in my opinion. Came from hard beginnings. We got Texas Tech with JT Toppin. This guy's got to be an NBA player. Like, this is one of the things with college basketball right now is like all these international players. Such good international crew right now. Right? So this is what I'm saying about these international players. Like, you could kind of just tell. So he's 23 years old. He's a grown man, pretty much. Kind of. Right? He played in ACB. Right? And you know, ACB is ACB is like the best basketball league outside of the NBA. So right, so he's a young player who's played in ACB, played in the Euro League, and now he's coming to college basketball and he's spanking. Right, he's spanking kids because he's a professional. You know, and you're seeing this. You're seeing my man at Virginia Tech. Multiple of these guys are professional players playing against college kids. And that's one of the craziest things about college basketball this year. Yeah, I'm always rooting for Gonzaga. Like Gonzaga, would love to see Mark Few get a title. Michigan State's always in the mix. We got Caleb Wilson, who I think is a dog, super athletic, super, maybe the best athlete in this draft, honestly. Super athletic. Seth Trimble, who's been there for a while. I told you. 7 feet tall. He's gotten better over his time there. As we saw. Caleb Wilson, top 5 pick, really athletic, rebounds the ball. St. John's with Rick Pitino has challenged. They've challenged UConn in the Big East, right? Them, UConn, Villanova, probably the 3 best teams out of the Big East, with the opportunity to make some noise in the NCAA tournament. St. Louis took a loss the other day, but Vanderbilt's been good all year. Cray. Forgot what school he was at before, though. Maybe Auburn or something? I can't remember. Tyler Tanner putting up numbers. Duke Miles. Remember seeing him earlier in the year, just seeing the numbers he's been putting up. McLaughlin, good player. I think he played at GCU before this, but don't quote me on that. Arkansas. We got Darius Acuff, who's been on a heater as of late. Look at his recent output. All right, 22 points, 3 assists against Kentucky in a loss. 24 points, 8 assists against Mississippi State in a win. 28 points, 5 assists against LSU in a dub. 31-7 against Auburn in a dub. Look at his 3-point shooting. He's shooting that thing. 31 points, against Auburn. 49 points against Alabama in a second or a double overtime loss. 5 rebounds, 5 assists. Bro's been hooping. And Malik Thomas, who I think is also a first rounder. Billy Richmond probably had a shot. I feel like DJ Wagner's kind of been he's been patient. And I feel like that patience may pay off for him. He's shown character, hasn't switched up. We got Louisville here. Malik Brown Jr., super explosive guard. Super explosive guard. I think he's a top 10 pick. Their second leading scorer is Conwell. He's a senior. Shout out to him. And then McNeely, who played at was averaging 10, almost 11. Played at Polka in West Virginia. Really good West Virginia player, one of the better West Virginia players in a while. Has Isaac McNeely. He used to play at UVA. So yeah, I like this Louisville team, and I think Mikel Brown, one of the better players out of Orlando in a long time. Austin Rivers Jr. I mean, Austin Rivers is a big Mikel guy. Cannot forget about Miami of Ohio, 25-0. They've been really playing some good ball. Hopefully they get like a nice little first round upset in the tournament. Hopefully they win their college. Suter, Byers, Elmer. Hopefully they win their. Hopefully they win their conference, the MAC. I believe they're in the MAC, the MAC. Right? Yeah, the MAC. There's also the other MAC, MAAC on the East Coast. But yeah, hopefully they win their tournament and get a good seed in the tournament, in the NCAA tournament. We got AJ DeBonsa, who's leading the nation in scoring. Almost at 4 assists per game. Unfortunately, man, this hurts. Richie Saunders, their third leading scorer. They were scoring like crazy. Third leading scorer, Richie Saunders, goes down. 37% three-point shooter. He's had some big games for them. Played really well against Kansas. And for him to go down, that's really going to hurt. Davis Jr. is going to have to step up. Baker is going to have to step up. Obviously, Rob Wright, he scores a lot for them. He's at his second leading scorer. High-powered offense there. Wisconsin, they had the nice Wisconsin, like Purdue, man, those Big Ten teams, they don't necessarily get like the greatest players, but they're always consistent. I feel like Rapp's been there for a while. Rhodes been there for a while. Oh, nah, only a sophomore. But yeah, Rhodes been there for a while. Boyd is having a good season. And you have Alabama with LeBaron Philon doing some work here. Cheryl Holloway also having a good season. Yeah, man, this college basketball season's been kind of crazy. My boy Jalil Bethia has been hasn't really been able to go off, but started the season on injury. Hopefully he's able to, find a great fit here. If not with Alabama, with somebody else. The other teams dropped from rankings were Clemson and Kentucky. Yeah, I think Kentucky's pretty good. I think they'll be pretty good. Villanova is also a pretty good team. St. Mary's is always good. Shout out to Miami with Jay Lucas, first year. First year coach Jay Lucas played at Texas. And he played for the University of Florida, son of John Lucas, and his brother, the third, played in the NBA too. So shout out to him. But yeah, that's the college basketball for tonight. Thanks for everybody for tuning in. God bless in Jesus' name. Amen.